All right. Hi, guys. Lots of videos today. Lots of, not really new because we've talked about these in the classroom and we'll continue to use these in the classroom together, but kind of new for our online learning. So you are going to go ahead and go to Epic and go to the Black History Month collection, and you can choose any book or any video that you like. Remember to take the quiz if there's a quiz attached to the book in Epic. But what I want you to do today is to complete your nonfiction summary along with the book or video that you choose. And again, you can complete this on the piece of paper that you took home with you last week, or you can complete online with the Google document that I attached for you. So either way is fine. I'm going to do it on paper, and I'm not going to do it with an Epic article. I'm going to use a book that I had in the classroom, but the same idea. And this is going to be Young Martin's Promise. So the title is right here, right? Young Martin's Promise. And you're not going to write that, but you're going to write the title of the book that you're listening to or reading, or maybe the video that you watched. So on mine, I'm going to write Young Martin's Promise, but you're going to fill out yours, right? What is the selection mostly about? So the book I read was mostly about Martin Luther King Jr. growing up during, and it's a word called segregation. And we're going to talk more about this word this week together as we start our unit about Martin Luther King. Segregation. Okay? So that's what my book was mostly about. You're going to write what your book was mostly about. What was the main idea? What did everything in the book go back to? What was the book trying to teach you? What was it all about? And then you're going to write down 1, 2, 3 important ideas. And each of those important ideas are going to have smaller details. So for me, the first important idea in my book was that there were separate schools for white children and black children. So I'm going to use a complete sentence. There were separate schools for white and black children. And that was the bigger idea right there, right? So we have the main idea that the whole book was about, and then we have the first important idea. And a detail about that is Martin had some friends, and they were a different race than he was. He's African American, and the students were Caucasian. So he was a black student, and they were white students. And they played together before they started school. And they didn't get to go to school anymore and play together because they were different colors. So that was one of the details, was Martin couldn't go to school with his friends. So he couldn't go to school. Whoop, my brain's going faster than my pencil is today. He couldn't go to school with his white friends, right? Okay. And he was really sad about this, so I could write that down too if I wanted to. He felt sad, right? And confused. He didn't quite understand. But his dad talked to him a lot about it in the book, his dad and his mom. The second main idea in my book was there were also places in stores where black people were helped and served, and it couldn't be up at the front of the store. Him and his dad went to go look for shoes, and they had to go to the back of the store. So that would be my important idea, was that there were separate, places in a store, or even different stores for black people and white people to go to. And then I would write a detail about that was that Martin and his father had to go to the back of the store in order to try on shoes. And another important idea in my book, the last thing, was when Martin grew up, he worked to fight against segregation. And the details about that would be how he led marches. So my important idea was fight segregation, right, as he grew up. And then there were marches. And there were protests. But Martin Luther King led peaceful protest. That's really important to know. And I would write some more details down about that. And then at the end, you're going to restate the main idea of your article. So I said my main idea was Martin Luther King Jr. grew up during segregation. So when I restate, the main idea of my article at the end was Martin Luther King, he was saddened and confused about segregation as he was growing up. And that led him to fight against it as an adult. So I could say Martin Luther King Jr. was saddened and confused by the maybe rules of segregation, which led him to fight against segregation as an adult. And see, I went back and I used the beginning, Martin Luther King growing up during segregation, as the first part of my main idea, but then I kind of closed it up with how the book ended, which was that last main idea, important idea of him fighting segregation. So on your nonfiction summary, to recap, you're going to give me the title of the book that you read in EPIC or listened to, what it was mostly about, the big picture. And then each one of these important ideas should relate back to that main idea, and these smaller details will relate to your important idea. And at the end, you're going to restate your big picture and kind of also include how it ended. And we'll keep working on these together in class as well.